Welcome to something short and sweet of the Parsha. This week, Chayei Sara, which begins with Avram Avinu purchasing a burial plot for his wife, Sara. This incident is emblematic of Avram Avinu's devotion, perhaps more than anything else. Rabbeinu Yonah, in his comment on Pirkei Avos, says that this incident actually was the 10th of Avram Avinu's test. All the other commentaries say that the Akedah, the binding of Yitzchak, was the pinnacle, was the top and the last test of Avram Avinu. Rabbeinu Yonah comes along and says, no, it might have been the greatest challenge, but it wasn't the last. Chayei Sara, buying the Baras HaMachpelah for Avram Avinu, that was the last test. And you have to wonder, well, how is that considered a Nesayim for Avram Avinu? Avram Avinu just scaled the heights of human achievement. He was willing to bring his son, etc., etc. So here, he loses his wife, and he has to haggle with, let's call him a used car salesman, in order to buy a plot. Okay, it's an annoyance, but why is this seen as one of the 10 great tests of Avram Avinu? You see, says Rabbeinu Yonah, Shelo hir achar Kodesh Baruch Hu. He doesn't question God. God, you gave me Eretz Yisrael, and now I have to haggle in order to purchase part of Eretz Yisrael. What is the big deal? Rabbeinu Yonah didn't dream this up. Of course not. Rabbeinu Yonah saw this in a Maimer Chazal, a Gemara in Baba Basra, in which gives us an introduction to the book of Iyov. And the Satan, so to speak, came to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, says the Gemara, and says, you know, I've checked throughout the entire world. I've looked through history, and I have not found someone, listen to these words, I have not found someone who is ne'eman, who's as trustworthy, as reliable as Avram Avinu. And I'll prove it to you, and I'll show you how reliable it is, says the Satan. After all, I gave him the Holy Land, and I said, walk the length and breadth of the land. And here at the end of his life, he loses his wife, and he's trying to bury his wife, and he has a hard time. Below here, achar midosecha, and he didn't question God's attributes. So it's a Gemara, the one incident of Avram Avinu's life that shows his great reliability, his great ne'emanus. It's not the Akedas Yitzchak. It's not Lech Lecha Me'artzecha. It's not going out to battle with the four kings. All epic events in the life of Avram Avinu. This one, that shows that Avram Avinu is a ne'eman. According to Rabbeinu Yonah, this is the 10th test. How is this so? It can be argued that degree of difficulty is not the only criterion by which a challenge is judged. Perhaps to the contrary. Perhaps a more subtle challenge. Perhaps a situation where there is not such difficulty, where a person doesn't appreciate the fact that now I really have to bring my belief and my trust and my relationship to HaKadosh Baruch Hu to bear on the situation. How about in a case which is just a bit of an annoyance? And how about a situation where that annoyance is when I'm in a bad mood? Avram Avinu just lost his wife. And now he comes to bury her in the Holy Land. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave him the Holy Land. It's supposed to be his. And he has to be put by the ringer, by this charlatan, Ephron. and he has to go back and forth with him. And the question would be, would Avram Avinu be disturbed, be upset? And somewhere in the back of his mind say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, why are you giving me such a hard time? Perhaps Avram Avinu would be a bit annoyed and therefore think, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, what are you doing? But Avram Avinu was a Ne'eman. Ne'eman is someone who's reliable. Reliability means that when there are super difficult situations in life, I'm with the Ribono Shel Olam. And reliability means when there are subtle, delicate difficulties in life, annoyances in life, I'm with the Ribono Shel Olam. Situations change. I don't change. It can be the most glorious day. It could be the most difficult day. It could be the most subtle situation. I am with the Ribono Shel Olam. This definition of Ne'emanus, Matisyahu Solomon finds in a Rashbam, in another one of our greats, said about another one of our greats. Moshe Rabbeinu is called by the Ribono Shel Olam Even Ne'eman. B'chol Beisi Ne'eman. In defending Moshe Rabbeinu against Miriam's Lashon Hara, one of the beautiful things that HaKadosh Baruch Hu says about Moshe Rabbeinu is B'chol Beisi Ne'eman. He's trusted. He's reliable. Wherever he goes within my house, so to speak. And there the Rashbam defines it. What does Ne'eman mean? Kavua umiyusad kol sha'a b'yom. He is set. He is established any hour of the day. He goes on to say, this is like a yosed, like a peg, like a post. Hatakua b'makom chazak. That is driven in a strong place. In a mamar lipo, doesn't move. It doesn't fall. Avram Avinu was a Ne'eman. As we say in the davening every day, it's a pasuk in Nehemiah. Umatzasa es levavo Ne'eman lefanecha. HaKadosh Baruch Hu found his heart Ne'eman. Avram Avinu was reliable. Avram Avinu was Avram Ohavi. Navi Yeshaya calls him the one who loves me. Rav Dessler defines love as an unbreakable bond. The bond is there no matter what happens within life. This is the great model for our behavior. Avram Avinu. He was always the trusted, Even Ne'eman. He was always the trusted, reliable servant of the Ribono Shel Olam. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great Shabbos.